Let's have a look at how to add contacts to Macanta that are elsewhere. So whether it's a web form that's being filled in, whether it comes from another system via a trigger, and whatever that is. So how I'm going to do this is just with a web form being filled in. So I've created this landing page, there's a web form, I'm using Landingy, and it allows me to fire a webhook when this form is completed. So that goes to Zapier in our instance. Now, the details of how and where your information can come from is far too varied for me to go into any more examples other than the one we've got here. Let us know if you have any particular questions, but this will give you a basic idea of how these things can be done. So here's our data that came in from the form. We've got those bits there. Now I'm going to assume you have a rough idea of how Zapier works. If not, they've got loads of information on how Zapier works. It's a great tool, but I won't try and teach you how to use Zapier here, but you'll see examples of how I'm using it. So we've got our information has come into Zapier. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I want to fire a webhook, and I'm going to send that as a post, and we continue. So then we have to set up, okay, well, where are we sending this information to? Now, this is the URL, so https:// I'm going to put in 3 stars for the moment, macantacrm.com/rest/v1 and then /contact. So obviously you don't have to remember that, it's in the documentation, but that's where it is. The 3 stars you need to replace with whatever your app name is. So for instance, in our instance, this one we're using for testing is called staging.macantacrm. So what I need to do here is replace those with staging. So it's whatever is before the .macantacrm in your login URL. So I have that there. We want to send this information as JSON, and then the different fields that we need here we then populate, and I can go in here and I can say first name, last name, email, company if I could spell, and phone 1. Okay, so now I'm going to go and grab the information from here, and we've got first name, last name, email, company, and phone. Then we need one more. We need API key to give us permission to talk to Macanta. You can find your API key by going into admin, security, and save search, and just copy there, and then you paste that in there, and that is that. So from a general perspective, what's really important if you're not doing it via Zapier is that you have the API key, your payload type is JSON, and you've got the correct URL, remembering to replace what I've got here on the screen as staging with your app name. Okay, so we can then go here and say continue. Zapier allows us to fire a test. We've come back green, it is happy, and I can now go here, and if I go and search for Owen Schrödinger, we can see here there's a contact here with the company name filled in, and I can go and have a look at that. We've got our phone number also filled in. So those are my details. Contact has been added, and whenever this web form is now filled in, it'll add the contact to Macanta. It uses the email address to look for a duplicate. So if I were to submit the form again with the same duplicate, then it'll update the record rather than create a new one, with the same email address. So always remember that the email address is how we check for duplicates when creating contacts.